Once Russia starts the bombing campaigns or the bombardment with missiles, we register an increase of refugees coming.
We had local communities, local authorities receiving people with open arms, breaking bread with them, helping them with whatever, sharing what little they had.
Since the beginning of the war, there was a huge influx of people from Ukraine. Most of them, of course, passed and went further, but still 100,000 stayed.
Главнее всего дети, остальное все ерунда. Дом, вещи, то, это, машина, все это ерунда. Самое главное, что дети спят в тепле, сыты. Это самое главное, остальное все ерунда.
Since the start of the war in Ukraine, the neighboring country of Moldova has opened its borders to hundreds of thousands of refugees. Many of them are still living here today. I'm here to witness what their lives have become and understand why they have decided to remain in Moldova. The former Soviet Republic of Moldova is landlocked between Romania and Ukraine and comprises the unrecognized breakaway state of Transnistria, which is supported by Russia. An aspiring EU member, Moldova is one of the poorest countries in Europe, with a population of only 2.5 million people. Today, it is also home to about 100,000 refugees from Ukraine. The vast majority are women and children, living with host families like 13-year-old twin brothers from Kiev, Sasha and Dima.
Мы приехали сюда примерно в конце апреля, потому что началась война и очень недалеко от дома упала ракета возле маминой работы. Насчет войны на Украине я чувствую себя... Пытаюсь об этом даже не думать, то есть, чтобы не забивать себе голову трудными мыслями.
Like most Ukrainian men, the boy's father stayed in Ukraine while their mother works evening shifts in a restaurant. Their Moldovan host, Svetlana, says helping Ukrainians is a moral duty.
В тот момент, когда здесь началось с Приднестровьем, я находилась здесь в Молдавии. Я знаю, что это такое. Это страшно. А когда с детьми, это очень страшно. Поэтому нужно помогать как-то. Я не знаю, может, не дай бог, конечно, чтобы у нас такое случилось.
A Russian missile which was shot down by Ukrainian air defenses fell on a village in the north of Moldova, and it's led to some citizens fearing what could come next.
Since the start of the war in Ukraine, Moldova has lived under the constant fear of a Russian attack on its soil and has suffered from a major energy crisis. Despite these hardships, civil society mobilized in an unprecedented way to help refugees.
The war started, we all woke up in a huge anxiety and we didn't know what to do, if we had to run and we decided that the least that we can do is come together with the people we know we cooperated before and try to offer the support we can to the people fleeing Ukraine. This is a safe space for women and girls. It's a space where people can have psychotherapy sessions, can ask for legal advice, take part in Romanian lessons, English lessons.
A year ago, Moldova for Peace started with just a handful of volunteers. Today, this NGO is backed by several international organizations and employs more than 100 people, including Ukrainians like Jennifer.
Я була дуже вражена тим, як щиро люди хочуть допомагати іншим. Тому відразу, як я прибула в Молдову, я почала шукати якісь варіанти, де би я могла теж допомагати іншим.
Despite a broad acceptance of refugees in Moldovan society, tensions and backlash do occur. Moldova for Peace even set up a special division to monitor and counter false claims and hate speech on social media.
Usually the tensions appear when a new program is launched and if the host community feels that they're left out, then there will be this hate speech and tensions.
I drive out of Chisinau and head to Kosteshti, a village 20 kilometers south of the capital, to meet a group of people that have historically been the target of discrimination. Before the war, an estimated 400,000 Roma lived in Ukraine. It's unclear how many fled to Moldova, but most of them are staying in refugee accommodation centers scattered across the country.
Тут, в принципе, проживаем. Вот. Уже как 3 месяца здесь находимся. Вот мои дети. Ринат, ему уже 13 лет. Тигран, ему уже вот 18 сейчас уже будет. И Червоня младший мой, ну я Дима его зовут. И жена Маргарита.
Здравствуйте.
Вот так вот. Вот уже как 3 месяца, как уже здесь проживаем. Уехали, оставили дом, оставили все. Ну, родители у меня там остались, отец, мать, там еще. А я вот детей взял, перевез сюда, более безопасно.
The refugee center is run by the local municipality, and residents are fed by the World Food Program. Edward says his family hasn't experienced any sort of discrimination, and that the welcome they received in Moldova helped to overcome the traumatic experience they went through in Ukraine.
Вот, уехали, потому что уже ракеты, можно сказать, уже над головой летели. Вообще уже. Света нет. Соответственно, у нас котел, ну и холодно. И вода у нас тоже скважина. И воды нет, и тепла нет, и холодно. И поэтому решили, вот, собрал своих детей и приехал сюда. Здесь, правда, все помогают, хорошие люди вообще. Всеми помогают. И одеждами, и едой, и всеми помогают.
My next stop is Palenka on the border with Ukraine. The city of Odessa is only a 1-hour drive from here, and this has been the main crossing point for the 750,000 refugees who have fled the war through Moldova. Today, the relative peace stands in stark contrast with the events that unfolded here a year ago, as Eugene, a border policeman, recalls.
At the height of the crisis, the queue to get to this border crossing point would be around 8 to 11 kilometers, 12 to 13,000 people crossing daily. It was cold, it was snowing.
With nearly 10 years of experience on the job, Eugene has seen his share of dramatic events, yet he is still moved by last year's events.
When you see families that wives are saying to their husbands goodbyes, but this is not the goodbyes, the traditional ones where everyone knows that they're going to see, is the sort of goodbye that you don't know. Is this the last time you see your loved one? This strikes quite hard because I myself am a father, I have a small daughter, and when you put these experiences, you take it very personal.
Since the start of the crisis, the Moldovan police has set up special units to avoid the risk of refugees being trapped by human traffickers. But lately, another danger is raising alarms in Moldova.
So what we anticipate is, as in other war zones, we are going to see an increase in the number of illegal weapons that are going to, military-grade weapons that are going to be attempted to smuggle through the Republic of Moldova, including to Europe as well. So we are trying to fortify our surveillance capabilities.
The police are not the only ones on alert. Humanitarian organizations are also bracing for the next phases of the war.
Okay, so here we are at Palenka bus station. We're very close to the border with Ukraine, and as you can see, this is a space for refugees who have recently arrived to come. They can get a hot meal in one of the tents, get information about the response, and access specialized services according to their needs. Now, as you can see right now, there's not a lot of people here because the arrival numbers have gone down since the peak of the influx, but we maintain this site for contingency purposes because there's still a war going on in Ukraine, and you don't know how many more people may arrive tomorrow.
Just like the EU did in the early days of the war, the Moldovan government granted temporary protection status to all Ukrainian refugees in January 2023. This will ensure a more stable future for them, with automatic rights to housing, healthcare, education, and work. But despite this guarantee, all the refugees I talked to in Moldova only wished for the war to end and to go back to their home.
Хочется туда вернуться, но понимаю, что там очень опасно, может что-то произойти.
Дай Бог, будет все быстрее закончиться, и поедем себе домой, на родину, в Украину, в Киев. И наши дома, наши родители там, все там. Конечно. Ничего, будем ждать, вопрос времени.